Hello and welcome to another episode of the Monday Mile podcast. Today we're in East London and this episode is a special one. This week marks 6 months to go ahead of the Paris 2024 Olympics. So I thought it was only right that we caught up with a friend of the mile, Matty Lee. We last caught up with the Olympic champion fresh off his flight from Tokyo 2020 after he did quite literally have a gold medal placed around his neck by Tom Daley, as together they won the synchronized gold diving medal. Matty, it's 6 months to go.
I know.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you very much for having me again.
How are you?
Yeah, good. I'm all right. It's weird because last time, it was a long time, it feels like a long time ago we did this.
It was a really long time and a lot has happened.
You're right, a lot has happened. Ups and downs for sure since then. Obviously, I think just after that first podcast, there was a lot of highs still. I hadn't been on I'm a Celeb yet.
No.
I don't think, so that was all really cool and fun. Lots of cool award shows and all that. And then it kind of, all comes down a little bit, back to training. It's been all right, to be fair. And then obviously, terrible thing happened, end of 2022. My dad passing away, so dealing with that is also tough. But we're here, we're 6 months away from the Olympics. I'm still diving, still training, still hope to smash it. Right now, today, we're actually in a good place. I haven't really been in the best place recently, if I'm being honest. I've had quite a few injuries. I had a bulging disc in my spine.
Now, a bulging disc, that's something that we would think of as an injury that you get when you're a little bit older. You hear older, slightly overweight people that are like, my back. You're pretty young.
Yeah, 25.
So have that going on. Diving is physically a very demanding sport.
Yes.
How did that injury come about?
So it happened at diving, which I'm glad. Imagine if I did it at home, picking up a pan or something, that'd have been a bit embarrassing.
Or in the bar.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be the one, would it?
No. I was lifting weights. I did a weight session and I had like deadlifts with the trap bar. Quite heavy for me. And then
what we're talking, come on, our listeners want to know.
I mean, it's not like 100 kilograms, 105, 110.
Okay,
nothing crazy.
Yeah.
But we don't need to be bulky in diving. We just want to be lean machines.
Yeah.
And then I went into the pool and I was doing some 1 meter skills. So on the 1 meter springy board, which is not normally my thing. And basically I was doing a bouncing back, triple somersaults pike. And after weights, all that load on my lower spine, and then kind of going onto a bouncy metal board, flinging myself backwards, wrapping myself back into a pike shape, took its toll and board. Oh, nice little trip there.
That's me. Yeah. There's my bulging disc.
And yeah, that's how it happened. And basically I was in a lot of pain. I couldn't really move. It was like a vibrating, horrible sensation in the back of my back. Turns out the bulging disc was pressing against some nerves that were going down my right leg, which is why I couldn't move and why I had so much pain. We had an injection. So far, it's doing good. It's worked, but it's just been a long, being injured as an athlete is the worst thing ever, especially near to, the year. It only comes around every 4 years, or it's meant to. And
it's such a long, almost wait.
Yes.
People start talking about it the minute it finishes.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. Now, take me back to Tokyo 2021.
Yeah.
You're standing at the top of the 10 metre platform.
Yes.
What's going through your head at that moment? A moment that's technically about to change your life.
It's actually not a lot, luckily, because I feel like if there was stuff I was thinking about in my head at that time, I think I would have not failed, but probably pressure would have got to me and I just messed up.
Yeah, I mean, that's immense pressure.
Yeah, and even thinking back on it, I'm like, hey, I can't believe I actually dealt with that. My first games, alongside my hero, my best mate, and I managed to keep it all cool and collected and legit. On, for example, the last dive, I was locked in. It was a state of flow. Some people talk about that. I've never had it since, but luckily I had it when I needed it. I didn't have to do anything. I kind of just let my body do what it had to do.
Wow.
And luckily it went well.
The power of flow state is
it's crazy.
So unique.
Yeah.
How would you describe the rhythm of that motion for somebody that's never even heard of the word flow state?
Yes.
Because it is almost like a higher power.
Yeah.
I've been there myself and I think there's sort of two moments which I can really pinpoint in my career where it's just automatic.
It is, and I think to get there you basically have to put in the work for years. When me and Tom got to the Olympics, I knew for a fact we had done everything we possibly could to put ourselves in the best situation ever. So our bodies were primed, our headspace was primed, Like everything was good. And then, so that's like first step to kind of, I think, feeling what it feels like to have flow. I literally felt like it sounds weird, but on the end of the 10 meter, I feel like I kind of came away from my body and was like watching my body do that last dive. Like that's how it felt, like I was disconnected and it was just happening. I didn't have to do it. Like obviously I did have to do a lot, but it felt like I didn't have to do much.
I guess that's when it comes to pressure.
Yeah.
It's almost a way of removing the pressure because you're not in your body. You're outside of it, looking at it, controlling it. Well, that's how I've experienced it as well. I think I can definitely connect to that.
Yeah.
So would you say everything that day was in sync when you look back from your breakfast with Adam Peaty?
Yeah, you remembered, legend.
Unfold that.
Yeah.
Like that's greatness.
Yeah, I know.
You,
Yeah,
Tom
and
Adam Peaty.
Yeah.
For that to coincidentally align, it
Yeah.
doesn't just happen like that in the village.
Yeah, no, it doesn't happen often. And a lot of people are in their own, especially on comp day, you don't want to speak to anyone, you know? You kind of want to just be on your own. But no, me, Tom and Adam had breakfast that morning. Me and Tom went on to win gold, and Adam won a gold that day too. So
Adam's got loads of golds.
I know he does. I know, we only got one. Yeah, I think that was pretty special. I think that, you know, was a golden breakfast almost. And then I guess just going throughout the day, everything was just like, me and Tom didn't really have to say much to each other. We just knew what we were going to do, I feel like.
It's almost like a decision sometimes. When you're in total control,
yeah,
it's a decision to just do it. Did you ever have a moment where you had to almost like shunt yourself and kick yourself and be like, it's actually today? Today's the day that I need to do it now. There is no other time.
Yeah, no, because I feel like if that happened, I would have got nervous. The nerves would have 100% got to me. It would have got too much. I reckon my heartbeat would have been like 150 all day long. So that luckily, no. And that kind of, that was weird because whilst I was at the games, obviously it was for a short period of time because of was having to leave straight after comp. I don't remember much from being there because I was just literally there I felt like I was there to do a job, not to enjoy it and say, but obviously I enjoyed it
the process
after. And of course the process.
Okay, let's talk about after.
Yeah.
We linked up with you last in Soho. There was a mural that had been painted of you and Tom, and I remember vividly your abs were painted slightly better on the mural.
Yeah.
That's got to be a claim.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah. Better abs than Tom. That's hard to do.
That's a surreal thing to come back to. And then life afterwards. Talk me through that high, because I can't imagine. I've not won a gold. I've come back from the Olympics and man, it was such a high. But to win at your first outing, does it come with consequences?
Yes. Now I'm at this point, yes, it does. And I hate saying that because obviously it's like, oh, well, you're complaining about getting a gold. I'm not. It definitely has had its consequences in a way because I think the build up to this Olympics, I feel the pressure a bit more. Well, I definitely do. You obviously experience a load of cool stuff that happens to you straight after. And then that kind of goes away. Unfortunately, with the Olympics, it is only every 4 years. And for some sports, they're not that popular. So they're only popular for 1 year every 4 years. And so that kind of sucks because then you kind of then just have to go back to normal, just training, eating, sleeping, training, eating, sleeping with nothing cool to look forward to. And yeah, you could say they're distractions, but at the same time, I think good distractions are also very helpful for like an athlete lifestyle.
Like life outside of sport is quite important.
Yeah, because you're also thinking about the future as well after you finish diving. I want to try and utilize that opportunity. And I went to university. I'm not very book smart at all.
I didn't go either.
Yeah.
I went for a day. There you go.
Hey, man, more than me. So yeah, I'm always like trying to think of what next as well. So, and when all that kind of disappears, you're like, oh, that was only for a brief moment. Damn, that's a shame. But then I guess, then it's like motivation to try and do it again at the next Olympics sort of thing.
So you came out of the Olympic Games.
Yep.
Quite literally, you and Tom had to place the medal around each other's neck.
Yeah, that was special. That was really special.
And that was because of COVID?
Yes.
No one was allowed to touch you?
Yeah.
That's mental.
Yeah,
Even thinking about Tokyo and that experience, that's so far from what your experience moving forward will be like. So you've had the high.
Yeah.
You go into I'm a Celebrity. You come out of the jungle. So it's sort of almost two comings out.
Yeah.
Coming out of the Olympic environment and then going into the world of entertainment and sort of being a celebrity.
Yeah.
What was that like?
I mean, that was definitely the toughest bit. So coming back from the Olympics, it was just fun. There was still a hype. Olympics was actually still going on when I come back. But when I went into unfortunately it wasn't the jungle, it was the castle. was a bit cold, wasn't it, in Wales?
Yeah, a bit chilly.
Probably about this temperature, actually.
Yeah, not one.
No.
You got rolled a duff card there. You should have waited.
Nah, because you never know. If I waited,
you might be old news.
Well,
never,
yeah.
Matty. Never.
But yeah, basically, because I knew I was going on Aimee Fuller quite soon after the Olympics, my high kind of carried on until that point. So then my post-Olympic blues, depression came after Aimee Fuller. And I think it was also heightened because Aimee Fuller was such a surreal experience of being, like, you know, like on an actual TV show that I watched as a kid. And then coming out of that, I was just a bit like, oh, like I literally went straight back to training. And I was like, oh, this feels...
That's got to be weird. Is it almost like going back to school as a kid after the summer holidays?
Yeah. That's actually a good way of putting it.
But with the magnitude of 10
Yes,
on top.
yes. It wasn't nice. I didn't really enjoy diving at that current time. But to be fair, I did eventually find the passion back for just general training. I guess it was just getting used to changes in my life too. That was tough. Some people may know who I was, and I was a bit like, but it was pretty cool. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. You know what's quite nice is actually that you can admit that, because I think some people often like, oh yeah, I don't care, brush it off. But you know, that is
nice, well special.
It's a very unique position to be in, not only to be recognised for your skill set, but also you've just been on one of the biggest TV shows in the country.
Yeah. And it was like a different kind of like, I don't know, like it was like middle-aged women knowing who I was. I remember I think I was in Leeds actually, and I was like, went to Sainsbury's with my mum or something to do a shop. And this lady came up to me and like, I honestly pretended like the way she had a conversation with me, it was like she knew exactly who I was. And I was a bit like, I have no idea who you are. But it's because obviously when you're on someone's TV box every day for like 3 weeks or whatever, people start to think they know who you are. So that was actually a really odd experience, because it was like, I'm not used to that at all. And like, sometimes I get like, there's, you know, young girls like diving, like guys like diving. And I know the fan base of diving, and I can see them from like a mile away almost. Yeah. But like this new kind of fan base from ITV.
Here, waiting for you outside the aquatic centre.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't really happen often. But it was just nice to experience a different kind of appreciation from the public.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But then that high does present a low. So you're back to school, back to training, and run our listeners through a standard day of training, because people look at sport and the vision, the dream of being an Olympic athlete. It's an incredible career, but it's one that I think not many people would understand how savage it actually is, and actually quite simple, the life.
Very simple. It's like, so I'm very like, I think athletes crave a routine, and it's very easy to get one, especially when you're an elite level athlete, because I literally almost wake up every morning at the same time, like 6:50. Well, I should wake up 6:30, but I sometimes struggle to get out of bed. I'm human. So I probably get up at 6:50 and have the same breakfast every morning. 3 eggs scrambled on 2 slices of toast, orange juice, black coffee. And I go to training, and then I'll do an hour and a half in the gym. Can be anything from weights to, I don't know, acro to stretching to full body.
And is that in itself quite monotonous? Is it the same sort of thing?
Yeah, there is sometimes where I just know exactly what I'm doing without even asking my coach, in a way, because it is so repetitive, which is good in a way, but it's sometimes really nice to switch it up a little bit. Yeah. But you know, when sometimes you switch it up and it's like, that's not what I'm used to. I sometimes not freak out. I'm like, I don't want to do that. But it's good to be a little bit more flexible, I guess. But no, like you say, like isn't as it's not glamorous at all. Getting up early, grinding, like in and out of the pool on a cold day like this, or the last thing you want to do is get in and usually the pool's quite cold.
Is it?
Yeah, especially around this time.
I'd have like a wetsuit on.
Yeah. I don't know about well, people would probably question why am I wearing Speedos, but I'd not want to wear a wetsuit for sure.
Why is that? It would hurt.
Probably like, are you not like not quite hard to like maneuver?
I surf in a wetsuit.
Yeah, I've never actually been in a wetsuit ever.
Have you not?
No.
Okay, we need to get you wake surfing.
Yes,
when
please.
It's fine for you to do stunts and get extreme.
Exactly.
The fun side, post-Olympics.
No, yeah, and I want to go skiing so bad. I used to go when I was younger, and I loved it. But now, obviously, I'm not allowed whenever I'm done, whenever that is.
I think not many people would be aware of almost like the restrictions as well when you're under contract. So you go back to training. Yeah. Full time.
Yeah.
Come off this huge high, and life really does deal you the worst card.
Yeah.
Can you unpack?
Yes.
the last couple of years for me.
Yeah, so obviously, I feel like it's quite crazy because almost, it's not exactly a year, but almost within a full 365 days, I won the Olympics and then my dad passed away. But it's not quite a year. It was very close. So I feel like in such a small amount of time, I experienced, like, I think, the highest of highs you could ever experience, and genuinely the lowest of lows you can experience. That obviously is awful, because you kind of go along life like, if you don't lose someone in your family for a while or like close to you, you forget that life isn't forever. You kind of you feel like, yeah, like everything's good, and then boom, something terrible happens, and it was very sudden. There was no signs, there was nothing, and it just happened. And I remember I was here at the pool and my mum called me. The worst. I now have anxiety when people call me, because I always think it's like the worst, like something's really bad happening. But I could tell something was wrong. I just didn't know if it was my brother or my dad, because my mum rang me, and I was about to get in the pool, and then she didn't. She just said, "Dad's not well. You need to come home." So then I raced with my diving bag from here all the way to King's Cross. That day there was some disruption, so I couldn't even get on it. Like it was mayhem in King's Cross, and I was like obviously you can imagine I was panicking. Like I was in such a weird state. Obviously I can barely remember the day. Then managed to get a train to Sheffield, and then I had to get a Sheffield train to Leeds, then walk all the way up to the LGI, which is the hospital.
And
Yeah.
this is totally out of the blue.
Yes, yeah.
You had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, no, completely out of the blue. Dad was healthy. I FaceTimed him the night before, which I'm very happy I did, because obviously I do live away from family. And yeah, it was completely out of the blue. Nothing prepared any of us for it. I only took 2 weeks off training, which is, I think, a bit dumb.
That's
now looking
not
back
a
at
lot
it.
of time.
Yeah. But like obviously everyone deals with stuff like that very, it's all personal, right? But I think I just wanted to kind of mask how I was feeling. I wanted to distract myself.
Yeah.
So I came back quite early. And then I think that eventually took its toll on me. I think now I'm starting to feel the real hit from it. Because now I'm just a bit my dad was my number one cheerleader in diving. And because of all the things I've struggled with my injuries, because I'm missing out on the fact that my dad would literally cheer me on wherever every time he'd ever see me on the internet or some, in the paper, he'll take a clipping. He was my biggest fan. And now I don't have that. And I've been down in the dumps with my back. It's been really hard to kind of get myself back.
You're missing
your
champion.
Yeah.
You're champion no matter what.
Yeah, I am.
The day, the outcome, the result.
Yeah.
Your dad was an avid supporter.
Yeah.
Of your diving.
Yeah, big time.
Was he an embarrassing dad?
Yeah. But I think those kind of dads are, they just are embarrassing. And I look back at it, I'm like, I love that I was embarrassed about it.
Talk me through some of your memories of diving with your dad.
There's a couple, there's loads. But one memory that I know for a fact was one of his best memories. So it was Baku, it was European Games in 2015. It was also the day of my competition, it was also Father's Day. My dad came out, and he wasn't a fan of traveling. I think when he was younger, he didn't ever really leave the country. But he traveled a lot of the world I guess to support me. And he came out on his own. My mum and my brother obviously couldn't get time off work or something. And it turns out it was Father's Day on my competition day. And I also then won that event. It was a 10-meter platform, individual, and I won that event. And I believe that was one of his proudest moments, even though obviously I won the Olympics. My dad got to watch that happen, and I remember at those sort of big games, you do a little lap of the pool after you got your medal, and I remember shouting it up him, "Happy Father's Day, Dad!" And I think that was one of those.
That's got to be one of the most rewarding things to be able to give back to your parents.
Yeah,
like that.
Exactly, and I think just being able to make him so proud for me as well. It was just I try to think in the future if I have a family, but when I want kids, when I have a family. All you want to be is proud of your children, right? And I know for a fact he was. But that's always a happy thing to think about. How
have you dealt with grief? You're obviously best friends with Tom Daley.
Yep.
He has gone through a very similar process, losing his dad. Has he helped you through the process of grief at all?
So he definitely helped me in the very early stages, for sure, because when I came back he wasn't diving at the time. He had 2 years out. But look, he was still living in London at the time. Now he lives in LA. And at the time, he was in London. And then when I came first back, like I think I remember like the second night I was back in London after it all happened, he invited me over for dinner. And I guess it was just more, at that point, I just needed like a hug from someone who knew what I was feeling. It is a rare, it's something that not everyone knows how it feels. And I knew he did. I didn't need him to say anything. Sometimes, especially in the very, I guess, early stages, you don't want to hear anything because it is just rubbish. Nothing probably will help you with words, just more comfort, a hug, just time with someone, even if you're not talking. And he did that, which really helped me. And even it's a small thing, but he even came all the way up to Leeds with Robbie and came to my dad's funeral, which I knew for a fact my dad would have really appreciated as well. And he didn't have to do that. And he wasn't the only one. I had Noah as well, Noah Williams, and my coach Jane. So yeah, the guys at training have been really, really helpful in with me dealing with my grief, because it comes in waves as well. I think it was a year anniversary of it not long ago, and I haven't really cried much in public with that. And I remember just the whole group before we started training, they all sat down and Jane made some lovely comments about my dad, and I remember I just bawled out in front of everyone. And it's very hard to be vulnerable in front of people, but it was worth it because I guess everyone knew where I was at, and clearly I wasn't okay, needed help, and everyone kind of gave me that, which was really helpful.
How have you dealt with the grief? Because grief is something that not a lot of people talk about. Mm-hmm. Do you find it helpful to talk about it?
Yes, I do. So with dealing with grief, with my experience, it comes in waves. I know that for a fact. It will always hurt, but I guess that you're just angry and upset when it first sort of, when you're dealing with it at first, because it's why me? Why did that have to happen to me? Or I should say, why him? But then I guess you come to terms with it, but then you get to a point where you start remembering all the lovely stuff. I very rarely dream, and I very rarely remember dreams. And literally about 4 days ago, I had a dream, and I did some DIY in my flat just on my own, and that kind of reminded me of my dad a little bit, because I was like, oh, he definitely helped me here, or
So
I had a quite a lot. Yeah. And
Are you a handyman?
No, not at all. And I would have definitely rang him up to ask him a few questions about what I was doing. And then that night I had a dream of him it wasn't the same sort of DIY project, but he was helping me with something. And it was really lovely. And I woke up smiling, and that's a beautiful thing to have. Obviously I'd rather have him here, but that helps the grieving process, because then you're still, I don't know, I still can talk to him. I can still feel him, his energy, whenever I'm, I guess, just doing me.
Is that something you'll do looking ahead to Paris to help you on that journey to stay motivated?
Yeah.
Does that inspire you, thinking of your dad?
Yes. No, it definitely does inspire me, because of how much he loved diving. His whole latter stage of his life, he just cared about diving so much, and all my achievements and failures, he was always there, ready to celebrate or ready to hug me and make sure I was all right. And it for sure will inspire me, but it will also, it'll also hurt a lot, obviously, not having him there on this journey. And it has been a struggle. And I think that's probably one of the hardest things, is whilst I have been down recently, he hasn't been there to lift me up. And I've had to find that within, which has been the toughest thing for me recently.
Do you vocalise it? It's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is. I remember I had a grieving counsellor for a little bit, but it just didn't work for me, and I didn't feel any benefit from it. But that was quite early on, and now I feel like I've put a few things together where I'm like, yeah, this is connected. I know this is connected to me and my grief and losing my dad, and how I've been feeling at training. And I managed to make this within my own head, and I was like, I know it's connected, because I'm down in the dumps at training. My back's bad. I feel a bit left out, and usually my dad would have been there to you got it, son. And obviously I don't have that anymore, so that's why I'm struggling even more. So I have been vocalizing it, especially to my psychologist, and I've got like a team of 3 different psychologists helping me out. Clearly I need a lot of help.
Right, you said you're feeling left out. Talk to me about the process between now and Paris, because it's not straightforward.
Nope.
You've been diving with Noah Williams. You got a gold medal casually, another one
Games.
at the Commonwealth Games.
Yep.
But last time we spoke, you expressed your passion for exploring the individual route.
Yes, I did.
Tell all.
Yeah. So with the synchro, when Tom took 2 years out after the Olympics, I did synchro with Noah Williams. It was very successful. You know, we got a silver medal at the World Champs. We got a gold medal at Commonwealth
More
Games.
highs.
I know. Yeah, I know.
You're just stealing all the highs.
Yeah. Tom's come back to diving now.
Was that a shock?
Yeah, it was. It was, because I think if I was him, definitely wouldn't have done
That's like not a normal thing to do.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
is this his 5th games?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
His first was Beijing.
Wild.
Yeah, I know.
Granddad in the pool.
Oh, yeah, yeah, legit. Even though he comes back after 2 years and he's still amazing. So, I mean, yeah, it's kind of annoying because he literally comes back and he's like the best in the format, for God's sake.
And he stayed in shape as well, right?
Yeah, yeah. You'll never see Tom out of shape. He will always be in shape. So yeah, now he's coming back. And then me and Noah didn't get a medal at the World Champs last year. If we did that, that would have been a qualification spot for synchro 2 years earlier a year earlier than the games.
And that's kind of like a real green
That's
card.
what that's what you want. And that's what me and Tom did in the run up to Tokyo. But me and Noah unfortunately didn't do that. So then this year, it only comes down to one competition, which is the World Champs again. It's in Doha. It's in a couple of weeks' time. Because I've been injured, I'm not on the team for synchro. It's a triangle. So there's me, Tom, and Noah.
Okay.
Not in any order. And because I've been injured.
You've been kicked to the side.
Yeah, a little, yeah.
So, controversially, could we see a Noah and Tom partnership at the Olympics?
Yeah, potentially.
Could we see a Matty and Tom partnership at
Yes.
the Olympics?
Yeah.
Is that the dream situation?
I find it really difficult to say because obviously, like, these two guys are two of my best mates, right? And I've been successful with both of them. I don't want it, like, it's a horrible situation because now there's 3 of us, and if 3 of us are fit, because I'm injured, that's why I'm not on the team currently right now. Yeah, because I'm injured, I've been like moved to the side, which I understand. When that happens, Noah and Tom are going to go to the World Champs, and I think they have to come like top 6, 5, which they should do. But it's a lot of pressure because if they don't do that, then there's no synchro spot at the Olympics.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy how quickly that ticket to the Olympics can be pulled away?
Yeah.
I don't think many people are aware of that.
Yeah, yeah.
They just assume
Oh,
you're good,
Yeah.
you'll get in. But
Yeah.
it's not quite like that. So
Yeah.
we're down to the wire here,
Yep.
trying to get the synchro team
Yep.
qualified.
Yeah.
And in a way, it doesn't matter who does it.
No, it doesn't matter at all. It's just the
So
team.
then how is it decided who gets the spots?
I honestly have no. It's drama. If I'm injured, I will understand that I won't be on the single team because I'm not going to be at my best, right? But I'm going to make sure I am. I'm an athlete, and that's what I'm going to do. I want to do it again, and I think it's going to be up to like my coach and the management team. And basically, all I'm saying is I'm glad I'm not the person who gets to decide.
So it's not results based. Is it purely performance day to day? There's no defining point at which we can look at and go, it's this day.
Yeah, I personally think that's not the way to go. I don't think it should be done on like competition data.
Yeah.
A lot can happen at different. Noah could be ill at one competition. Tom could be slightly injured, and then that might differ my performance. It might differ Tom's, like Noah's, and I don't think it should be done on that. I think it should be done on who they think
is the most consistent and who's the best at the time.
Yeah.
Oh man, Matty, I'm sorry. I feel for you because
I reckon a lot of people also just think, they won gold, so send them off.
Fire them up there again.
Yeah, but that's not the
Stick
way.
them on the 10-meter board.
Yeah, and I guess this also gives kudos to Noah as well. Noah Williams, he's been doing a great job. He's really good individually as well. He's someone to look out for.
So where are we at with the individual?
I remember after the Olympics, my dream really would have been to qualify and just focus on individual.
Yeah.
This whole time from that last Olympics to now. With losing my dad, I think that's really affected my headspace around diving and around training. And I want to enjoy my day to day because I'm struggling outside of it, with dealing with that. And to me, individual, it's a lot harder. You're on your own, right? It's just you. But in synchro, you're with someone, and either way, I'm with one of my best mates. And I'm there with someone and they can help me and I can help them. And I just enjoy synchro a lot more.
I can imagine it's such a vibe when you're up there with your best mate.
Oh, in training, it's the best.
I would love that.
Because we chit chat, dive. Chit chat, dive.
Yeah.
And I love it. Yeah.
Mega.
Yeah. So
Right.
I wish I could say I was going for, doing the individual and stuff, but it's just not what I want at the minute.
Yeah.
And maybe later on, I don't know. We'll see.
But that's okay. We deal with that,
Yeah,
right?
you got to
so
do what you
the
enjoy, right?
focus is the synchro and getting back to tip-top form to make your dad proud.
Yeah, exactly. Making sure I'm injury-free. I'm on my own journey at the minute. I need to stay focused, stay in my lane, It's really hard to, you get distracted so easily.
Yeah.
I see my other teammates, they're a bit ahead of me. I'm like, but I'm like, I've been injured for like the past 3 months. Like, of course I'm behind.
When you are injured
Yeah.
and you're still in the gym training and you see everyone else, is it so boring? Because rehab is like not the one, is
No,
it?
it's honestly, it is the worst. And it's so hard to be patient. And sometimes think, like, I need to be present, but saying all that, when you're actually in that moment, it's so hard to be positive because it is boring. It is so boring. All you want to be doing is flying around. I don't come to training to just do a bit of like cat and dog sort of things or whatever you call it. I'm there to flip myself off 10 metre. That's what I enjoy. That's what gives me that buzz. When you don't do that for so long, you start to lose interest. But I'm here. I'm
We're
better.
here.
Yeah.
And Doha is around the corner.
Yes, it is.
So all eyes on Doha to
Yes.
get that spot qualified.
Yes.
How do you see the next 6 months, the countdown? How are you going to reframe that mindset to be the best possible diver you can be come Paris in July?
I think I just need to stay on track with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Have really good communication with my team, my coach, my physios, my nutritionist, everyone, and just be on it in that sense. Also, a little bit of distraction is good, like things outside of diving to look forward to. That's healthy. I don't want to be too in it.
What's life like outside diving? You've recently moved.
Yeah.
Got your own flat.
Yeah.
Is it nice having that sense of independence?
Yeah. I love the independence. I like being on my own. Bit of a loner sometimes. I just love coming home from training because you're knackered. I love coming home from training, just chilling.
What are you grilling up? What's for dinner at Matty's?
I do HelloFresh a lot, even though they've never given me a free box. But
Shout out right here, sort that right out, HelloFresh.
But I'm a simple HelloFresh kind of guy.
Nice.
Can't really cook.
Oh, so you're
Things
following
on my own.
recipes?
Yeah, I'm good at that.
Maybe we'll see you on a cooking show after
Yeah,
the Olympics, right?
Hey, maybe.
It's all manifestations.
Yeah.
How do you
true.
find the diet and nutrition side of things? Because I remember being an athlete, everyone's just obsessed with what athletes eat, how much do they eat?
Yeah,
Because you guys have got to be in tip-top nick.
Yeah. A lot of people ask, you're on any like, really strict diet? And I'm always like, no, but I am. I definitely am. Obviously, I don't like count calories or anything like that, but I have to think with my brain and think, is this going to be helpful? Probably not. Is this a fatty kind of protein? Yes, don't have it. It is quite tough and annoying, but when you start to see the benefits, it's so worth it. And that's why I always try and remember and sometimes I am human. I sometimes do get a takeaway on a Friday.
What are we having?
Five Guys, maybe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you like a little burger?
Burger, hot dog. The hot dog's underrated.
A Five Guys hot dog.
Yeah.
I like a cheeky burger, you know.
Yeah.
So last time you were on, it was all about Greg James and your DMs blowing up. Are the DMs still blowing up?
No. It's like the same thing with that stuff. Kind of slows down. That kind of disappears.
Matty, what's your relationship like with Monday?
Mondays. I actually really like Mondays. If you have a good Monday, if you start off well in the morning, then I know I've made a good start to the week.
Just crack on.
Yeah, crack
the way
on.
it started.
And if you start well, you'll end well.
Strong.
Yeah. What about
Strong.
you?
Yeah, I like a Monday. I sometimes don't like the pressure of a Sunday because I'm like, I want to smash this week.
Yeah.
But you know what? Sometimes it's okay. A chilled Monday can be good. But generally speaking, I like to start strong too.
Yeah.
And then you work hard, work towards the weekend, and have a good time.
Yeah.
Balance, right?
Yeah, it's all about balance.
And I think that's what's so important, even as an athlete. It is having those distractions. It is having a cheeky takeaway, but hammering the work when you can.
Exactly.
Matty, last question.
Do
you have any life mottos or quotes that you can share with our listeners?
These questions always get asked, these sort of things, and I always never know.
I've got one I can reframe for you, and this will help our listeners. Without doubt, you've got a lot of pressure on your shoulders.
Yeah.
How do you deal with it?
So I think with pressure, you got to kind of think pressure's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a good thing. The reason why you got pressure is because people have seen what you've done, seen what you're capable of, and believe you can do it again. So I feel like you should kind of flourish on that and not let it like kind of eat you away. And yes, it might be on my shoulders, but carry them with proudness.
Broadly.
Yeah, broadly, exactly. Yeah, don't be afraid of pressure.
Should we go and do some flourishing?
Yeah.
You've got a lot of flourishing to do. Can you do it and make our Monday Mile listeners extremely proud?
Must have flourish.
You told me you've got to flourish in it.
Oh, right, yeah. I'm about to train, to be fair, so hopefully
you're
I'll flourish.
You're
Yeah.
going to flourish in your training.
Yeah.
What's the pool saying? What's in store for you right now?
Today,
what are you about to do? Yeah.
I'm about to lift some weights, so hopefully I can walk. It is cold.
It's cold.
I have to do a bit of a warm up first.
Yeah.
But I've got weights for an hour, hour and a half, and then a simple like skills pull session.
Nice.
I'm done.
Simple. Not too scary.
Not too scary, no.
Do you get scared?
Yeah, sometimes on 10 metre.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really
it's too high.
I have to try that one time. What are we talking? Is it like that bridge there?
I think that bridge is probably 10 metres to that water.
Oh, that is far.
Yeah.
That is really, really far. Monday Bar listeners, it is a wrap. Matty Lee, thank you so much for coming on and giving us a really open, honest account of the state of play. 6 months out from Paris 2024. We here at the Monday Mile podcast are wishing you all the very best of luck.
Thank you very much.
And you know what? All you can do is your best. There's one thing I learned. You are more than your sport. Boom. It's a wrap. You know what to do. Monday Mile listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. You know what to do. Like, subscribe, and if you want to tune in every single Monday, hit the bell button so you get a notification so you can join us every single Monday morning for your dose of mindset and motivation. Oh yeah, and I forgot to say, leave a comment as well, because apparently that's what you do on YouTube.